what life was before marriage, mortgages.
Is at the Holland.
Listen.
The items, the morning forecast, partly cloudy, maybe an afternoon shower. I'm Hillary High Beams with Expressway Loop Center Fan. Hi with Charles.
It's 19 after the hour, trying to get the gum out of my mouth. We're center talking to Rick Kaplan, who has lost an enormous amount of weight, and I just wondered, and maybe Tracy, you know, if it's a midlife crisis, but he says no. Have you ever had one of those? You must have.
Me? I'm not at midlife yet.
No,
so how would I know?
Come on, sweetheart. You're talking to the I-man. I'm talking to Kaplan, anyway. So what's going on?
Two already.
Yeah, what's going on in the world of scum?
We have Page 6 reporting today that a female journalist friend of the New York Post, who happened to see Maureen Dowd hawking her book, Are Men Necessary, on Anderson Cooper's show the other night, emailed Page 6 and said, quote, my God, she's Botoxed to the hilt. The only thing that moved were her mouth and eyelids. What does this mean?
She look like she's Botox to you, Chuck?
Very smooth forehead. Very smooth.
Kidding me?
You know,
Very smooth.
She gets facial, so big deal.
Oh.
No furrows at all.
Give me a break.
What is that?
No lines right here. This is the.
Does that mean Botox?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Well,
Botox. Yeah.
Let me give some advice to those midlife crisis women.
Yeah.
Just keep that ass tight. Don't worry about a little sagging here and there. Just stay on the Precor, the butt blaster, and you'll be good to go.
Thank you very much, Bernard, for weighing in on that. That's great.
Enlightened.
That's good.
Keep that booty nice and round.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Anything else, Tracy?
Speaking of Anderson Cooper, he weighed in on Going Gray in Details magazine back in August 2003. He wrote this: Going gray is like ejaculation. You know it can happen prematurely, but when it actually does, it's a total shock.
Let me give some advice to guys who are going gray. Just keep that ass tight. Don't worry about anything else.
Time for a little sports now, and here with that is Chris Carling. Good morning, Chris.
Morning, I-Man.
Not a good observation from Pat McEnroe
What's that?
about you.
I'm sorry, when Patrick's voice started coming, it's like a white noise thing where it kind of sends me into a seizure.
Mm-hmm.
So I missed what he was saying.
Well, that was that he didn't think there was going to be much to live up to in assessing your what he assumed was your A game you've been bringing all week.
Well-
An easy act to follow.
Yeah.
Well, I know this.
Yeah.
I know Patrick is filling in tomorrow,
Yeah.
but you won't be able to wait for Monday and when I get back. You know why?
Well, no, I don't.
Because once you go fat, Big Daddy, you never go back. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway, NBA last night. Golden State loses 85-84 to the Chicago Bulls. Jason Richardson of the Warriors extremely upset with himself after shooting just 6 of 19.
I had to find a way to get that ball in the basket. The team depend on me to get the ball in the basket. So the next time, I got to make sure the ball's in the basket.
Good job there, Copernicus. Good luck with that. Heat lost to Indiana 90.
well, he understands the object of the game.
Ball
Man, come on.
basket,
That,
in.
that much
No.
is clear.
No, so you can ridicule the guy if you want, but he's got it down.
Yep.
Fundamentals.
Heat lost to Indiana 95-90. Alonzo Mourning upset with the officiating.
I've been playing this game too long, man. Way too long, you know. And it's not about me, man. You know, and this team expect to be treated fairly. There was some questionable things down the stretch, you know, very questionable.
Oh, shut up.
If you ask me.
Makes you want to say, damn.
Yeah. What is that all about? What is that? Holy God.
Very questionable.
You know, I got to say,
Yeah.
I feel like over the last couple of weeks, we've kind of shortchanged the NHL a little bit.
Uh-huh.
You know, it started, and we haven't really talked about it at all. So there were 5 games last night.
Nobody cares.
What do you say we just blast through and give them a little money's worth here?
No.
Come on,
No.
please.
No.
Just a little bit.
No.
Squeal like a pig.
Yeah, squeal like a pig and we'll do it.
I don't really care that much.
Okay, then. What else?
Shut up.
Are you sure?
I am positive.
To find
his closed boots, bud cap, and Sindel Jr. poster. Then shot the whole mess neon green, the can of DuPont spray. She said, I'll give him an intentional heart. That'll hurt a lot worse than the one that he left in me. Would you all step back so a girl might can get started? Then he won't have to look twice to see. In the morning.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? I'm Jim O'Connor, independent life insurance agent specializing in term life insurance. There's been a...
If you heard about this new Thompson hot beverage system? Huh?
Tell us about it, I never heard of it before.
Well, you can make anything with it. It's a hot beverage system, what it is.
Can you make soup?
No.
You just said you can make anything with it.
Well, now you can make anything. So let me rephrase that. You can make coffee, tea, espresso, latte, even a creamy cappuccino with real milk. Now, with the new Tassimo system, it even makes tea and hot chocolate. How about that?
Yeah.
Doesn't make soup. All at the touch of a button. The Tassimo system uses coffees and teas from Javalius to Card Twinings at Maxwell House. Pick it up at fine appliance stores or leading department stores or go to Tassimo.com. Tassimo, Tassimo.com. Mohegan Sun's no rent, no mortgage giveaway. Your chance to win your share of $225,000 to do whatever the hell you feel like doing. Each week they're giving away $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 in cash. That's what I'm talking about. All you have to do is get to Mohegan Sun with your Players Club card for your chance to win. Don't you worry about if you don't have a Players Club card. You can sign up for free and you can still win. And you know who's waiting at the front door for you?
Who's that?
Mitchell Edis and the Tribe.
Yeah.
And I-Man is down with the Tribe.
Yeah.
So, and what are they talking about? They're talking about you coming up there and getting that Players Club thing, win yourself some money. Seeing some great shows. Alan Jackson is going to be there. Sarah Evans, Aerosmith, Lenny Kravitz. You could live there. They have a hotel and all that, 60 shops and restaurants. Mohegan Sun, Uncasville, Connecticut, Windbay Wampum. Well, no one covers sports like Pulitzer Prize winner David Halberstam, author of Teammates, and he proves it again in his extraordinary new book, The Education of a Coach, the thing about Belichick. It's a stunning profile of one of the most successful and most intriguing figures in American sports today, Bill Belichick. Belichick's record as a coach of the New England Patriots, winner of 3 out of the last 4 Super Bowls, is unmatched. But he has also proved as elusive as he is talented. That boy mysterious, huh? He might even be an enigma. But Halberstam has got to the bottom of this. So open up, fat boy. What's going on? Let me get a book out of your ass. Belichick, Halberstam, The Education of a Coach. What am I talking about? From Hyperion.
Excuse me, are you still with your old brokerage firm?
How'd you know?
Yeah, I didn't.
I got the look, haven't I? Lonely, isolated, abandoned.
Now that you mention it, you do look a little...
Forsaken.
Bingo.
Comes from years of being taken for granted by my broker.
Then you should switch to TD Waterhouse and start investing for yourself.
An online broker, I'd rather be ignored by a real person.
Well, TD Waterhouse has real people.
Really?
And they'll actually talk to you when you have a question.
TD Waterhouse has investment consultants who will give you the attention you deserve and answer your questions, no matter what size your portfolio is. You can do this. Switch to TD Waterhouse, the alternative to higher-priced brokers.
You know, you look different.
Respected, esteemed, empowered.
Oh, yeah.
Honored, loved, adored.
Stop, the commercial's over.
Ended, finished, finito.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Switch to TD Waterhouse today and get a month of free trades. Just call 1-800-TD Waterhouse. That's 1-800-TD Waterhouse, or visit tdwaterhouse.com/radio. TD Waterhouse Investor Services, Inc. Member NYSE SIPC. Comparison based on survey of standard equity commissions as of 9/10/04. Services vary by firm. Offer valid for new customers only. Other conditions apply.
With the Expressway Lube Center Fan Highway Patrol, brought to you by McDonald's. Start your day with a warm McGriddle sandwich and a great cup of coffee. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Northbound Van Wyck after Main Street, right lane continues to be blocked because of a missing manhole cover. Delays go back to Rockaway Boulevard. Southbound, delays starting to ease from Jewel Avenue to Hillside Avenue. In Brooklyn, southbound Ocean Parkway, accident with an overturned vehicle, only one lane open at Avenue P. In Morris County, New Jersey, eastbound 80 Landing Road, accident takes out one lane. The second crash has been cleared at exit 30 in Mount Arlington. 10-minute delays at the Holland, 40 at the Lincoln, and inbound delays at the George Washington Bridge of up to 45 minutes from 8095 Express, 30 minutes from 4610 from the locals. The items in the morning forecast, partly cloudy skies, maybe an afternoon shower, temperatures falling back through the 50s. Currently 53 degrees and partly cloudy in Central Park. I'm Hillary Highbeams with the Expressway Lube Center Fan Highway Patrol.
Quarter till the hour here on the Iverson Morning Program on the radio around the country and on MSNBC Monday through Friday from something to various times. Yeah. Tracy Bird's just in the studio, and how's your life working out, girl?
My life is just fine, Mr. Iman.
How's Fat Dave, your husband?
He's fat, but he's happy now.
Yeah. Did you do something? That boy got some Brussels on him, doesn't he?
Well, they're bigger than mine, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't know, baby.
But no, he's happy because Election Day went well out on Long Island, so.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, his boss was up for election, and she got reelected, so, you know, life is good in our household for another couple of years.
His what now?
His boss,
right,
the person who's the supervisor of the township that he works for,
right,
was reelected. So that means he won't get his butt tossed out of his office come January.
Who is his boss?
A woman named Kate Murray. She is the supervisor of the township of Hempstead.
You know what I always worry about? What's that? In relationships like yours.
Yes, sir.
Is, and I always wonder, because your relationship grew out of you and Dave working together at some radio station, right?
We met each other at a radio station, yes.
Right. Office romance. And you were both married to other people.
Long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then we hooked up 10 years down the road. It was all gone from that point.
Weren't you each married when you were getting hooked up together?
He was, I wasn't. I was only 19 years old.
Okay, so he was married.
Mm-hmm. And, well, we just knew each other. We just worked together at that point.
Yeah.
Right, and it was 10 years down the road when we were both married, when we, met each other again, and I was going through a divorce, and he was in the process of leaving.
Leaving what?
His relationship.
Right, but he was still married.
Well, so was I.
Okay.
But you're both, you're both exiting stage left at that point.
Mm-hmm. Just like John Corza.
Uh-huh.
But my observation is this. It's like, what's an example I can think of? Well, it's like Marv Albert. Marv was married. Marv Albert was married. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he had a woman on the, he had a mistress that his wife found out about. Uh-oh. And so then they got divorced. Yeah. And he hooked up with the mistress, but they never got married. Mm. They were just, an item. And then it turns out that even though he had the relationship with the mistress, he got involved with the girl down in, wherever that was, the one he was biting on. Down in suburban Washington, yeah. They were biting on her. When he wanted to put on something pretty. Yeah. Okay. And his girlfriend said how shocked she was. But he hooked up with her while he was still married. So why wouldn't she at least anticipate that the same thing, that he might do the same thing to her that he did to his wife? I mean, I'm not picking on Marv, I'm just saying that this happens all the time.
Pattern of behavior.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Okay.
So here you are, Dave, and how do you know that Dave is not slamming old Kate down there at the office?
Oh, please.
Oh, she's still Kate.
Oh, that's
Kate's
not right.
fatter than Dave.
Stop.
Well-
No, she's not. She's a lovely woman.
Some of them fat people like to get it, get all up in each other's nails.
Have a whale of a time.
Yeah.
How do you know old Dave isn't in a hotel room in a garter belt and panties singing show tunes with a transvestite?
With this, better...
A score from Oklahoma.
With those socks and straps that hold them up?
Yeah.
I enjoy being a girl.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I'll be right home, Trace. I'm a little busy tonight.
That's the thing I would be concerned about.
Not what Dave had in mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Dave, let me give you some good CDs that you like.
I'm not concerned that he has me. Why would he want anyone else?
Well, you see,
There you go. There you go.
by the way, the original Mrs. Albert was a pretty snappy item. Old Banaka, whatever her name was. She was not a bad-looking woman.
Well, she didn't have the prowess I have.
Here's my wife, a Banaka.
Well,
She's with Mick Jagger now, right?
Banaka, yeah, that was a different one. What's going on in the world of scum? Anything
Well, we have
other than your sordid life?
my sort of life is just fine. Rita Cosby gets this close to brothel life tonight. Speaking of scum, she's doing a rare behind-the-scenes
What's
look.
that fat hoe doing?
She's getting up with some women at the Nevada Moonlight Bunny Ranch.
If I'm in a waiting room at the Bunny Ranch and I see Rita Cosby walking by, I'm checking out the one down the highway.
Put your wallet away.
Watch your wallet.
What, you running a sale?
Is it a Bunny Ranch or a fat farm? There goes my Woody.
How much for the beefy blonde and the red turtleneck?
And we also have the story of a double amputee who
Oh, come on here now. Where's this going?
Well, he's not masturbating, that much we know.
Oh, shut up.
well, actually,
Maybe his legs are cut off.
he raped a 78-year-old woman and then tried to hire a hitman to whack both her and the prosecutor. He faces up to 15 years in prison. He pleaded guilty yesterday. His handcuffs were clanking against his walker when he hobbled into court, and he admitted that he pinned the comatose victim to her bed, punched her in the face, and raped her last year.
No, come on. Yeah, I mean, come on.
Well, how did he get away? Slowly. I mean, you got to plan an escape route, don't you?
You do.
Just shut up. Go ahead, Tracy.
You do. And after the incident, he thought he would get away with it because his victim, who had suffered a stroke, could not talk.
Oh,
but
God.
the blood with the DNA was found on the shirt and gown, and he was convicted.
That's always a problem.
That's the feel-good story of the morning.
Yeah. Come on here. Do you have any kind of fun scum?
I have Kenny Chesney.
No, you don't.
Okay. All right.
No, you don't.
It's on page 6.
No, you don't.
Okay.
You have nothing.
Adam, that's scum. I'm Tracy Burgess.
It's 8 minutes till the hour. I will murder you.
Now I have to go to page 6 to find out what it was.
Oh, it's really good, Charles. It's in the end quote section.
Okay.
You'll have to read it.
Read it to me, Charles. Well, Charles is responsible. He can read it to me.
Oh,
This is from page 6 in the New York Post. Written by Richard Johnson, Johnsson.
Owned by Rupert Murdoch.
Yes. Okay, Charles, here we go.
They've done nothing short of calling me gay and her a whore. None of those things are true. I'm pretty firm in my sexuality and my love for women. End quote. Kenny Chesney discussing reports of his split from Renee Zellweger in People magazine.
Oh, good.
Notice he didn't refute her being a whore, though. Do you know that?
Well,
I'm not gay, but she's still a whore.
well, whoever thought he was gay? Nobody I know. What else? Anything else, Chuck?
No, that's it. That's it from Kenny.
Okay. Who's on tomorrow, Bernie?
We have, let's see.
Senator Edward Kennedy will be in.
Oh, you'll be excited to hear Tom Oliphant.
Bradshaw?
Yeah.
Bradshaw, I had a have a conversation with the Iron Man. Bradshaw will not be on tomorrow. Bradshaw they've just phoned the office and informed Julie that he will not be able to make it because some schedule change in the movie he's filming.
This is not good.
And Colonel Jack Jacobs, Medal of Honor winner on Veterans Day.
As we go through the minefield right now, you'll see on your left and on your right.
But he will be available a week from tomorrow.
Oh,
Bradshaw.
no, Jack Jacobs.
Is there any way we can just cancel tomorrow's program?
I think you're going to have to show up and suck it up.
I mean, that just sounds like the biggest group of losers on the planet. I mean, like Jack Jacobs, but I love him. I mean, I'm sick of him talking about the bad guys in Iraq. I mean, calm down.
Well, we like to honor our heroes.
Yeah, so that's true. And all of them are like him.
Did you hear that thing about Tom Brokaw? He was supposed to speak last week on the Intrepid Airspace Museum out there in the Hudson River to a bunch of Marines.
On the occasion of, was it the Marine's birthday or
That's
something?
what it was.
Yeah, Marine Corps birthday, huh?
And he ended up giving them he better deal them. He got a subsequent invitation to the White House that dined with Camilla and the other fugly, Prince Charles. And he blew off the Marines, and he had John Siegenthal crack jokes about it, and they were not amused.
Where did Siegenthal crack jokes?
In front of the Marine.
Brokaw called on him to fill in.
He was the substitute, and they tried to, So the greatest generation?
Yeah, F him.
That's not cool.
No.
I was
Thanks a lot, Mumbles.
Yep.
He didn't do that.
Yes, he did. That is a fact. He went to dine with President Bush, Kelsey Grammer.
You got to be kidding me.
Camilla Parker, and assorted other losers.
Well, he's got to have an explanation for that, doesn't he?
I would hope so, but he didn't offer one up.
No, not in what I saw about it.
He better deal the Marine Corps.
What is he, Pat O'Brien?
Well, why would you want to pick on Pat O'Brien?
Well, no, you've called him a better deal type guy before. I was just...
Well, yeah, but O'Brien would have shown up for the Marine Corps.
Okay, I retract that.
Unless he got a better invitation.
This is the Iron Man.
Or he'd have phoned it in.
Hey, Joe, is that...
TV. Now he wants a regular cable TV. Good.
Yeah, I read that one yesterday, that he wants to expand it. He wants to talk about television and cable is thrown in this time.
You know, Howard, the big thing in the I love this because E-Network was told, you better get him off because we're going to ask you to clean up your act. Meanwhile, they got shows on HBO that are 10 times worse.
And they've cleaned up their act, and look what's happening anyway.
They're going to get him anyway. They should never have gotten rid of me, but that's okay. I'm going on demand. I am so happy. I can give you whatever I want to give you.
But they don't realize, the executives in broadcasting don't realize you give these people an inch, and they're going to keep going.
It fuels them. Yeah, that's my point about leaving. I can't tell you how happy I am.
Well, the other big thing in the article, Howard, which is really going to make you look like a genius, everyone's saying you're a genius for signing this contract, but it really appears you're leaving at the exact correct moment.
Time, yeah.
Because they're saying the other thing is that the fines are just way too small in money, and that a corporation getting hit with a $12,000 fine is meaningless, and they are going to make these fines enormous.
I would have been so done here. I mean, they would have still employed me, but they would have expected me to change my whole show. And which, by the way, I've already changed. It's you know what? This is half a show. It's not even a third of a show of what
But you would have had to change even more drastically.
You know why I'm up at night with all these ideas? Suddenly I have complete freedom.
Well,
because even when I met with Joel the other day, he goes, I don't like hearing on the radio, you're up all night thinking about ideas for your new job. You're supposed to be working here. I said, listen, there isn't a day that goes by I don't put all my full energy into this show, but I got to tell you something. I can come up with unlimited shows there. I can have people, if I want, they can have sex in a studio. You don't understand. That excites me.
And I can defend you on that point, Howard, because we sit in those Thursday meetings, and somebody has an idea, and you go, I love that idea, and I look at you and go, they're never going to let us do it. And you go, you're right, next.
By the same token, you spend all of your waking conscious hours thinking about this show. That's why at night you're awakened by the new thing.
I know. And believe me, I was in a meeting here. 60 Minutes was taping me. And guys would pitch these great ideas, and I'd say, we can't do it here. Bring it to the other place.
Right.
And it's not. I want to do it.
Not that you don't want to do
No,
it here.
I just know that I can't. Tom has made it very clear. Double A, what's up?
Hey, Howard, how's it going? What's going on?
Hey, brother.
I was wondering, when you go to Letterman on the 17th, if you could bring, like, maybe 10 of the Whack Packers with you and do, like, the top 10 list or something like that. Would they allow that?
I'm not writing a top 10 list. I am there for one reason. The reason I'm going on Letterman on the 17th is to really communicate to my audience what it is I'm going to be doing in the future, which I'm not allowed to do here. And I think that is a mistake. I think they should let me do it here because it'd be interesting to my audience. But
Absolutely.
I will give it to Letterman. I will give it to his sponsors.
I think you should be...
10:05 on the fan, and a very good Thursday morning to you. It's the Midday Show with Joe Beningo. 718-937-6666 is the phone number. Carrying you right through till 1 o'clock when, of course, the Mike and the Mad Dog program will come your way. Dolph Kramer, Matty Deutsch on the other side of the glass. And, you know, we'll open up with the Knicks, who started their 6-game West Coast trip last night out in Portland. And, you know, probably the easiest game they're going to have out there of these 6. And, well, it didn't work out as the Knicks lose for the 4th program.
Mad Dog Russo and Joe Benigno got into a screaming match in the newsroom yesterday.
Really?
Well, there's a surprise for those two.
The Mook and the Moron.
And speaking of the Eagles, it was all over having something to do with Donovan McNabb.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
And they actually, and Mad Dog, who never swears, actually dropped the F-bomb on Benigno.
You are kidding.
No way.
Great.
Didn't he, Lou?
Oh, great.
Oh, my God.
Shut the F up.
Yes, that's what he said, John.
Holy cow.
Couldn't believe it.
Well,
Shut the F up.
I'm surprised Benigno didn't punch him.
Do I sense a little jealousy, maybe?
It was close to it.
Oh, man.
They were right in each other's faces.
An ugly situation.
Tremendous.
And then we need to talk to Buzz Bissinger from of Friday Night Lights fame from Vanity Fair because the wheels are off that Imus project over there.
No, we have not.
We're going to give it to him this morning.
Okay.
Wait
a second.
You say, how can I do that when Paul Begalo's coming up and he hasn't even been on yet? He would be eligible if, because we give it to the, in my view, the best guest of the morning.
Mm-hmm. So it does seem a little premature.
Oliphant gets it.
Okay.
Well, I can just tell you
That if Begalo ain't going to get
no,
it.
he is not going to get it done. So, and could somebody explain to the makeup Nazi?
What?
She wants to screw around, and I'm trying to get up on here to get. They're just they're enormously annoying around here. Anyway, please welcome now to the Imus Morning program. Who's also going to be here on the Imus Morning program?
Who?
Michael Love and the Beach Boys.
Oh, man.
Pretty good, huh?
They're all dead, aren't they? He's the only one alive, isn't he?
No, Fred, they're not all dead. So anything else, Fred?
Well, I got my picks to do. I got a lot of stuff going on.
Well, what are your picks? See if Patrick agrees with them.
Speak before we let Fred do his picks. I'll give you my pick.
Okay.
You ready? Here it is.
Oh, look at him right there.
Oh, that's the NASCAR thing.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? That was a NASCAR car hitting a dog, by the way. But it's time for the
Skinny Boys Lock of the Day.
That will be the Indianapolis Colts over the Houston Texans this Sunday. That's my lock pick of the weekend, Don.
Fred?
I like that pick.
Yeah.
My picks are New England over Miami, Giants over Minnesota, Denver over Oakland, and Washington over Tampa Bay.
Giants are in trouble. Trap game.
And then for Southern California and Texas, Southern California plays California, Texas plays Kansas, both easy wins.
Well, I picked that earlier.
Yeah.
And weren't you listening?
Yes, I was.
Texas over Kansas. That's my other lock of the week.
You didn't pick Kansas, did you?
No, they're just a 33-point underdog.
And what else going on in your hideous life down there, Fred?
Just going great. One big happy family down there at the station, you know.
Yeah?
So.
Well, okay, now what's going on?
Well, is it normal? Tell me this.
All right.
Is it normal to have like a power struggle between management and the salespeople?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then everything's fine.
Everything's normal.
Oh, absolutely there is.
Oh, okay.
Because the sales department at every radio station in America, the sales department wants to control programming. So.
Oh, you got that right.
Yeah.
Okay, then everything's great.
And in the least successful radio stations, they allow that to happen. So it's the sales guys, whatever they can sell, and they run around quaking in their shoes. If a sponsor complains about something, generally the sales manager will go to the general manager, and they'll take it off the air just to save the sales. I mean, we don't do that, and Stern doesn't do it, and a few others don't do it. But basically, that's the way it works. So, and it winds up killing them, you know.
Do I get the coffee machine?
No, you don't, Fred.
I was better today, though, wasn't I?
You were better, but you don't get the machine. So.
Have any hosts of shows almost come to blows at your station, Fred? Because that's what's happened here at WFAN in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, the I-Man?
Yeah?
Do you have a serious satellite radio?
No, I don't.
Oh.
Why?
I just wondered. Well, doesn't make any difference if you haven't got one.
I can get one. Well, yes, I do. You know, a guy from Bruce Springsteen's band. What's his name?
Little Steven.
He gave me 2 of them.
Little Stevie Van Zandt?
Yep. Oh, Donnie has one, your son. Who was here in New York yesterday, by the way.
Yeah, I know it. He told me that he was going to surprise Wyatt. I thought that was great.
Wyatt calls him every day to check on the horses.
I know he does, man. I think that's so great. I just can't tell you how great that is.
So Donnie goes to Wyatt's school.
Yep.
And Wyatt comes out of the school, and Donnie gets out of the limo, and Wyatt turns around and walks back into school. He thought it was the wrong limo.
I used to do that all the time until the injunctions and the restraining orders.
All right, Fred, thanks.
All right, man, talk to you later.
All right, P-Mac, thank you very much. You were great today.
Thank you, I-Man. Take care.
36 after the hour. That's the opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange, sponsored by, I don't know who it's sponsored by.
Hyperion.
Hyperion. It's a little book deal.
The Education of a Coach.
Yeah, the Bill Belichick book by David Halberstam. You know, McEnroe was good, wasn't he?
He was all right.
All right.
No, he was good.
Yeah, he was.
What?
He's good. He's very good.
All right. So relax.
Solid. He cool.
All right, good.
Why can't you, you can't compliment any, all you guys want me to, all you guys want me to do is hammer people, don't you?
Yeah, essentially.
Pretty much.
No, but you're either up high or down below. You're never in the medium.
Very good point. 23 lay on.
This next one is the first song on our new album. It just came out this week, and the song is called Surrender.
With the Expressway Loop Center Fan Highway Patrol.
17 till the hour here in the I'm This Morning program on the radio all over the country. What's the matter, Charles?
Well, what do you think is the matter?
Oh, I don't know.
You're talking about the Tazable system, the hot beverage system. Don't worry about how it works. It's none of your GD business how it works. Why do you have to swear? Why do you have to take the Lord's name in vain, telling people that it's none of their god darn business how the Tassimo system works?
It's not.
Well, why? Well,
I was doing a local commercial here in New York for the Tassimo hot beverage system.
What is wrong
and I
with
simply
you?
pointed out to people, it's not, don't worry about how it works. It's not important. It's not, you don't need to know that.
It's easy. That's all you need to know.
That's all
It
you
is
need to
simple.
know.
It works as advertised.
None of your goddamn
Now,
business.
shut up. You know, you are such an a-hole. It is unbelievable.
I'm not really taking the Lord's name in vain. It's a lowercase g.
Well, who knows that?
I'm telling you. So, just go get one of them and don't worry about it. So, it's 16 minutes till the hour. Tracy Burgess is in the studio and probably has some scum, don't you, Tracy?
I do, Mr. Imus. On page 11 of today's New York Post, Andrea Pizer does a sit-down with Judy Miller, and Judy Miller lets it go at a whole bunch of people. She lets it go at Maureen Dowd.
What does she say about Mo?
Well, it's like she uses the past tense. She says, Maureen was a great reporter. I used to think of her as a friend, not as a friend, but as someone I liked. You see, I wasn't part of the inner girl gang, but she's turned. I don't want to associate with her.
Right. And she wishes she could have given up that seat 15 years ago.
Right,
Just
exactly.
whining. Shut the hell up with the whining.
Yeah, she says the last 40 days were a lot harder than anything that happened in the war or before the war.
Is she kidding? Did we get dead Americans? Partly because of this criminal?
She actually says harder than sleeping on the ground in Iraq. The last 40 days were a lot harder than 85 days in jail.
Well, some disabled soldiers should take his prosthetic leg off and beat her to death with it.
Yes. Amen.
That's
Bingo.
what she deserves.
What a pig. What else?
We have,
Not you, Tracy.
No, I realize that. Campbell Brown is engaged.
I like her. Great reporter. Great reporter.
She kind of robbed the cradle. Dan Senior, he's 34. He's obviously the guy who used to be the spokesperson for Paul Bremer. And now he's doing Fox News analysis.
Right.
How old is she?
She's 37. He's 34.
Well, that's fine.
No, but that's good. You know, she's going with a younger guy.
Well, whatever.
That's equivalent.
That's fine. God,
it's not like the I-Man robbing the cradle.
Shut up, Bernard. It's not like he's 23.
I mean, come on.
No?
We have Rod Stewart. He says he doesn't do cocaine anymore because it's not as pure as it used to be.
That's why I don't do it.
Reason
now they're cutting it with carpet first.
There you go.
He says, I don't know why anyone would want to do coke. Now, it was different in my day because it was so much purer.
Back in the day.
Then you got some of the good stuff. Give me a call, eh?
It is 14 till the hour. Please welcome to the I'm Just a Morning program once again, Senator Edward Kennedy. Good morning, Senator Kennedy.
Good morning, Imus, and thank you for this opportunity to express my gratitude, that of the entire Democratic Party, for the service you're rendering to this nation. To my knowledge, none of my colleagues in Democratic leadership roles had any foreknowledge of your decision to come out of the closet, as it were, and with such vigor, align yourself with the farthest left, most psychotically radical fringe elements of our party, such as myself and my dear friend, Senator Christopher Dodd. Your revised criteria for selecting guests, reflected in recent days, is deeply satisfying, Imus, as all of them are individuals who soon will be burning effigies of Bush administration figures out in front of the White House under the direction of Sidney Sheehan. I'd like to just take a moment to review. Just yesterday, for example, you welcomed to your program Al Franken, North America's answer to Hugo Chavez. You can't veer much further to the left than that without falling off the planet. And the day before, Louis Black, the brilliant satirist late of The Daily Show, whose physical and philosophical resemblance, not only to Mr. Franken, but also to shoe bomber Richard Reed, is more than just passing. Congratulations. And so many others. Why, today, Tom Oliphant, the gifted Boston Globe columnist, whose trademark bow tie precedes him, seeming to sniff with such superior disdain, really, you level your trailer with a calcified potato and a flattened Schlitz can, eh? How interesting. No intelligent design never designed anything more intelligent than Tom. And could I overlook columnist Maureen Dowd of the New York Times? A guest, when? A day or two before Al Franken? Certainly not. Not with her bitchy, spiteful, unremitting anti-Dick diatribes, from Dick Cheney to Richard Pearl to, well, perhaps all of us, given the title of Maureen's new book, Are Men Necessary? A better social question, Miss Dowd. Are emotions necessary? Given the amount of Botox it said you've had injected into your face for the friggin' turkey baster, it appears. I don't know if you've noticed, Mr. Imus, but Miss Dowd suddenly looks like the consequence of an entanglement, har, between RoboCop and a seamstress's dummy. You'd get the exact same expression whether you hit her hot spot with a joy buzzer or stabbed her in the ear with a peppermint. But happily, the frenzied essays from our favorite red-headed nabob of nihilism have not suffered a bit.
No.
Still as delirious as ever. Yeah. So, my thanks again for your creation here of a little backwater of Al Jazeera. And oh yes, my colleague John Corzine, soon to be leaving the Senate, as you know, sends along his thanks as well. So I raise my glass in a toast to you, Dono. Won't you join me?
No.
No, I guess not. You wino.
Delbert McClellan will be in here on Tuesday. Yeah. Got to get him to sing this one.
I'll change my way. It's not an everyday. I'll change that too. I'll change my style. I'll even change my smile. And if the beat of my heart beats too slow for you, tell me, my darling, and I'll change that too.
As I do this old Jimmy Reed song. I notice whenever Delbert does a Jimmy Reed song, he actually affects Jimmy's speech impediment. But she was most famous for
My heartbeat.
Yeah.
I changed that too, baby.
The great Delbert on Tuesday, Big Rush on Thursday. Little old Miranda Lambert trying to make a name for herself in country music.
God bless her.
Little girl being Hercule girl.
Excellent. Oh, yeah.
Being their money to sing her.
Mighty fine, mighty perfect.
Little country song. She was a little used to, grew up watching old Road Hog and the Cadillac Cowboy.
Yeah.
You ever run into her, Road Hog?
No, I'd sure enough like to run into her. Oh, I tell you what, maybe I could be here when she's there. I ain't been on your show since you've been on TV.
Right.
Maybe someday I could come in and be on the television part of it with you.
Yes, you could.
All right.
That's Miranda Lambert's about 14 years old, so.
Well, I already paid my dues for that. I'm over that thing, so I'll sit way over yonder and watch her.
Yeah. All right, here on line 3 is Frank from Massapequa. What do you want?
Hello, Don.
Yeah.
You're disgracing yourself. You know that, don't you?
What's what now?
You got to stop with these liberals.
Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna have them on, put their feet to the fire like you did to JD or you do to Santorum. You'll never do it to Senator Rounds. They'll tell you to go after yourself if you put them too much. that's number. And you know what? You're
And you got me figured out, don't you?
Yeah, well, I know, because if anybody's going to confront you, you're going to curl up like a cheap suit. That's okay.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open up a big old can of whoop ass on you, Frank.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. When is the book coming out? Why it has two mommies?
That's a good one, Frank.
Living my life in a slow hell.
Another one of my heroes.
Different girl every night at the hotel.
Uh-oh.
I ain't seen the sunshine in 3 damn days.
Been there.
Been fueling up on cocaine and whiskey. Wish I had a good girl to miss me. Lord, I wonder if I'll ever change my ways.
I called you last night in the hotel. Everyone knows, but they won't tell. But the half-hearted smiles tell me something just ain't right.
The issue with Chalabi is why is he being greeted when there is still an investigation into what he allegedly did? He was in Iran only last week.
No.
And what they're saying is that he is a deputy prime minister running for office, we believe, and he could end up being the leader of Iraq. After this whole process is over, he is quite the contender.
Right.
When asked if he was going to run, he has a really original response.
Would Judith Miller be the first lady of Iraq?
When asked if he was going to run, he said, that's for me to know and you to find out. So we're doing international diplomacy on it. Sort of.
I love cute answers from war criminals, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, what else going on?
Well, Judith Miller.
Yeah, get out.
Letter of, quote, resignation, although clearly she negotiated a departure. Some people would call it being fired.
Right.
And the New York Times has, a lot of tough internal issues. It's not been a happy chapter by any stretch of the imagination. Plus the poll. You saw the NBC News Wall Street Journal poll yesterday.
No, I didn't. Tell me about it.
The NBC News Wall Street Journal poll is just bad news for this administration on every possible front. Not just the approval ratings in general, but on 16 of 19 key questions, Republicans and the president do not do well, including the war on terror and just about everything else.
Oh, I hate it when bad things happen to people, don't you? I had J.D. Hayworth on.
Did you see that that clip of that interview was part of David Gregory's report last night on Nightly News?
Yes, I did see that, which I'm sorry you mentioned that, because that was an unauthorized use of a clip from this program, and nobody asked me. I didn't, Brian Williams, neither Brian Williams nor Beanpole called me.
I'm sure that David...
to ask me if they could use that footage, so they can talk to David Boyes about it later today. But anyway, what was your point you were going to make, Ms. Mitchell?
The point that you were trying to make when I interrupted you was that J.D. Hayworth said when you asked the obvious question, the correct question, do you want the president to campaign and raise money for you and be out there in the midterm elections? And he said no.
Bernard reminds me that there has been some speculation that you might be called as a defense witness for Scooter Libby because on apparently October 3rd, 2003, you said, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, that it was widely known that Joe Wilson's wife worked for the CIA.
Well, it was out of context. It was out of context.
Isn't that always the case?
Don't you hate it when that happens? The fact is that I did not know. I did not know before the Novak column. And it was very clear because I had interviewed Joe Wilson several times, including on Meet the Press. And in none of those interviews did any of this come up. On or off camera, I have to tell you. The fact, what I was trying to express was that it was widely known that there was an envoy, that I was tasking my producers and researchers and myself to find out who was this secret envoy. I did not know. We only knew because of an article in the Washington Post by Walter Pincus and a column by Nicholas Kristof that someone had gone. So in that period...
So you didn't say that it was widely known that his wife worked for the CIA?
I said it was widely known that an envoy had gone. Let me try to find the quote. But the fact is, what I was trying to say, and in the rest of that sentence, I said we did not know who the envoy was until the Novak column. So
did you mention Wilson or his wife or the CIA?
Yes.
And did you mention...
In a long interview on CNBC.
No, I understand it. But at any point, in any context, did you say that it was either widely known, not known, or that it was speculated that his wife worked for the CIA?
I said that it was widely known that, there's that quote here, but I said that it was widely known that Wilson was an envoy and that his wife worked at the CIA. But
you did say that.
I was
Why did it
talking
take
about...
me a minute to get that out of you?
No, I was talking about after the Novak column.
Oh.
And that's what was not clear. I may have misspoken in October of 03 in that interview.
When was the Novak column?
The Novak column was on the 14th of July, I believe, July 12th or 14th.
Of what year?
Of 03.
Oh, so this was well after that.
This was well after that. That's why the confusion. I was trying to express what I knew before the Novak column, and I think there was some confusion in that one interview.
Well, where did you find it out from? Russert?
I found it out from Novak.
Maybe Russert's lying.
You know Tim Russert, doesn't he?
Which would break a little Wyatt Imos's heart, by the way.
well, it would just not happen.
Okay.
But this is one of those cases. I mean, we've got a whole new world of journalism out there where there are people writing blogs who would grab one thing and not everything else that I've written and said about this and go to town with it. And if it supports their political point of view, then
Bingo,
exactly.
Everything else all right with you?
Well, I was in Sarasota where 1,000 people turn out on Saturday in Sarasota at the Opera House at the book fair, and at least 500 of them asked me about Don Imus. And it was
What
a
do you
great
tell
crowd.
them, by the way?
I tell them how great and smart you are.
Yeah, okay. So you're still lying.
Well,
You're lying about this. Wasn't thinking you're lying about it.
I only lie about you, Don Imus. God knows we wouldn't want the world to know how bad you really are.
I am, huh? Thanks, Andrew.
I didn't say it, you did.
Okay, Andrea Mitchell here in the I'm Mr. Money program. The I'm Mr. Money Business Report sponsored by the New York Stock Exchange today at the Exchange. The closing bell will be rung by Catalina Marketing Corporation CEO Dick Buell and Chairman of the Board Rick Beinecke. Catalina Marketing Corporation, headquartered in St. Petersburg, Florida, trades under the ticker symbol POS. On Friday, the opening bell will be rung by Lieutenant General Arthur J. Lipsky in commemoration of Veterans Day at 11 a.m. The New York Stock Exchange will pause to remember all American veterans with 2 minutes of silence. Yesterday, Dow Jones Industrial Average closed up 6 points to 10,546. NASDAQ closed up 4 points to 2176. New York Stock Exchange Composite up 11 points to 7501. The Attorney General of the United States, Alberto Gonzales, with some thoughts on our next guest, Al Franken, coming up, and then some sports with the big guy. All that just ahead.
There must be some way out of here. Say the joker to the thief. There's too much confusion. I can't get no relief. Businessmen, they drink my wine. Plowmen dig my earth. Running them along the line. No idea of it is worth.
We are the largest provider of television transmissions in the world with 1,911 channels. We're here at the New York
Highway Patrol brought to you by Carolina Rice. For generations, families have depended on Carolina Rice's quality, flavor, and fresh, wholesome goodness. Let your family share the tradition of good taste. Pick up Carolina Rice today. Inbound at the George Washington Bridge, 45-minute delays now from 8095, 30 from Route 4, 15 to 20 minutes from 46. 2 accidents on the upper level finally have been cleared out, so you should be moving along better as the morning progresses. Northbound on the Gowanus BQE, traffic heavy from the Belt Parkway merge to Atlantic Avenue. All lanes temporarily closed to remove the vehicles of an earlier accident there. In New Jersey, Essex County, outbound Pulaski Skyway after Raymond Boulevard. 2-car crash blocking the right lane. And in Hudson County, eastbound 280 at 17 and Kearney, another accident being pushed over to the right shoulder. 20-minute delays at the Hahn and Lincoln tunnels. The eyewitness of the morning forecast, partly cloudy, maybe an afternoon shower. Temperatures falling to the 50s. 53 in Central Park and Hillary High Beams with the Express Relief Center and Highway Patrol.
20 minutes after the hour here in the I'm Mr. Morning program on the radio all over the country and on MSNBC. They have this photograph of Al Franken that they've had up on my screen here that looks like they came off of Mount Rushmore, doesn't it, Al?
Rugged, absolutely. Man, square-jawed.
So yesterday, Tom comes to me, Bigfoot, and he says, now we've had everybody in here from Lee Von Helm on down.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, you know, with their bands.
Yeah.
So Big and Rich, who, you know, I've been part of the Big Parade, but Big and Rich from day one. And Tom says somebody from some of their people called and said they wanted to come in and sing to a track because it's a CMA week and the band's tired.
Oh, for God's sake.
Has the band ever heard of cocaine? I mean, this is an outlaw country band, you know? So we spoke with the record company yesterday, and the band will be here. And
we're tired.
Yeah. Stop. Because one of my old dealers is still dealing. No, I had nothing to do with it. Please welcome now to the Imus Morning Program, the Attorney General of the United States of America, Alberto Gonzalez. Good morning, General Gonzalez.
Good morning, Ayman. After being snubbed by mi amigo Jefe Jorge in favor of the Three Stooges, Roberts, Myers, and that Mariconito Alito, I have decided in the time-honored tradition of the Imus in the Morning Program to make myself feel better about it by making somebody else feel worse. And that person, for no other reason than he just happens to be a guest today, is Al Franken. Or as we like to call him around the White House, the liberal Fred Flintstone. Apparently, Mr. Franken is considering a run for U.S. Senator in his home state of Minnesota, which either means that after a 30-year career as a political satirist, he wants to really make a difference now, or he's finally admitted to himself the inevitable truth about that hideous Air America thing, which is that plane's going down, they say. I'm talking Mayday, Mayday, Punch Out Maverick. Mr. Franken has his own show on Air America, which is also shown on the Sundance Channel on cable TV, yet he's promoting his new book, The Truth with Jokes, on other radio and TV programs, such as this one. Why? Because his show is on Air America and the Sundance Channel. I mean, if you have to resort to appearing on MSNBC to sell books, you may as well go door to door with a box of them under your arm. You reach more people that way. But here's the problem with having your own show on Air America. It's on Air America. You know that adage about if a tree falls in a forest and nobody hears it? They were talking about Air America. Oh, it's making a noise, all right. A really whiny, droning sound. But unfortunately, nobody's hearing it. Because of a very complicated scientific principle called nobody's listening. I mean, nobody. Including the guys in the control room in Air America. They're all listening to Opie and Anthony. You want to know how bad they're doing over in Air America? They would kill for Tucker Carlson numbers, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. I love Al Franken. Nobody loves Al Franken more than me. Except for maybe Al Franken, which is another concept steeped in the time-honored tradition of the Imus in the Morning Program. Blind self-adulation. Which is okay by me. In fact, why don't you both do us all a favor and go love yourselves already? Anyway, Al Franken, I hope you have better luck being elected senator than I did being nominated as Supreme Court Justice. I think you'll do great in Minnesota. That state needs a big, stupid, Trump-looking guy with a forehead like a handball court to be its senator. Because it already has one for a governor.
It is 25 after the hour.
Brothers, give me a groove. So look to your left and to your right. If it's somebody you don't know, maybe it's time to introduce yourself. Maybe say, Senorita, pleased to meet ya. Would you like a pizza or margarita? Bajas en la escuela con mujer y alma cosiela. Sí, de los grandes y ella no es ella.
Stay tuned for important information on health insurance.
Producer, Grammy-winning comedian, and host of the Al Franken Show on Air America Radio, Al Franken is the author of 5 books, including the #1 New York Times bestsellers, Lies and the Lying Liars Who Tell Them, A Fair and Balanced Look at the Right, and I guess his first book, which was a sensation, and I believe, I don't think that debuted at #1, but it man, it went to #1. Did it? Rush Limbaugh's A Big Fat Liar?
It didn't debut at #1.
But it went to #1.
Right.
He is the only comedian to have performed at Abu Ghraib.
That we know of.
We know, yeah. He lives with his family in New York City, Minnesota. Please welcome to the program Al Franken, whose new book is entitled The Truth with the Jokes, published by the Books Over Dutton, and it debuts at #1 this coming Sunday on the New York Times bestseller list.
Yeah.
Pretty good. So, good morning, Mr. Franken. How are you?
I'm great.
Thanks for coming over.
Thank you for having me.
Aren't you broadcasting today from the new school, right?
I am, yeah.
And what time is that?
We broadcast noon to 3 every day.
Now, let's get this out of the way first. Are you going to run for the Senate?
I don't know.
You don't?
No, moving back to Minnesota in January.
Because I'm on I suffered a humiliating. See, I look at all of these races and other people with how it affects me.
Right.
Totally.
So how would this affect you if I ran?
I've endorsed you.
Oh, okay.
Already.
Then I better run.
I mean, I endorsed Kerry, and so it was a big loss, a humiliating loss.
Okay, then I better not run.
Well, no.
Well, I'm just saying that.
I endorsed Corzine.
Yeah, you bounced back. Oh, Corzine. So you bounced. Okay.
Okay. But then I had some problems with Corzine, in that in the waning days of the campaign,
right,
some unsettling information emerged that because about his personal life, you know, that impacted my feelings about him.
Was this the kind of thing that his ex-wife was mad at him?
Right. Well, yeah.
Yeah. That happens.
No, I know, but I know. But I'm just saying.
It's not so unusual.
No, but there was the rumor that he had, I asked him about this, that he had this affair with this woman while he was still married, which I didn't like. So, because even though Ross Perot was a Martian, I think he was right. I think if your wife can't trust you, who can? So Charles and I were talking about you last night, and Charles said, I'll bet you that Al Franken's wife can trust him.
Yeah, we've been married 30 years, many of them happy. There you go.
Okay. So
case closed.
That's it.
There you go.
And if,
or as we say in Minnesota, there you go.
If I endorse you, which I have endorsed you, but if you run, is there anything, you know?
Okay, I'll tell you, because since you bring it up, and it's been documented that at Saturday Night Live there was some drug use. And
we were there in those days downstairs.
Yeah, and people at SNL, Belushi, of course, died from it, and there were other people that did too much cocaine and became addicted to it. And I've written this, so it's nothing new. But on Tuesday nights, it was a night we'd stayed up all night writing, I would sometimes do a little cocaine to stay up to make sure that the other people didn't do too much and hurt themselves.
Well, that's responsible behavior. That's what that is.
Yes, but that's it.
Yeah.
But they'll use that against me. But I've written a couple movies about substance abuse and the family disease of it. When a Man Loves a Woman, I co-wrote that. And very successful Stuart Smalley movie.
Well, that's, see, the owning up to it is a big plus, isn't it, Charles? That's a great plus.
Further, it's about time you did that.
Integrity and responsibility, of course.
For me?
Yeah, it's about time you owned up.
Yeah, I'm surprised there was any cocaine. Belushi used to come down and sit in the studio.
Oh, yeah.
He'd come down around, I don't know, 6 o'clock in the morning. I guess you guys had been there
all night, yeah.
But
you had to keep him away from your stash.
Right. Well, he never offered me any. You know.
Yeah, I'm saying your stash.
I
keep
said
him away from your stash.
So, well, how is Air America?
Air America's doing fine. We're now on like 70-some stations, I think 75. I get about 1.5 million distinct listeners. I guess that's the way they measure it.
Do you like doing it?
I do.
Because it's a daily thing, not duh, but...
Yeah, no. Yeah, I love doing it. It's 3 hours. You know, when I was writing this book, and I was both doing the radio show and the book, when I get on the radio, I'd go, phew, thank God I'm on the radio. I don't have to write.
No.
You know, and I just like doing it. It's fun.
Because often people are going to do radio who've done all this stuff say, occasionally ask me about, well, how is it? I say, well, it's every day.
Right.
You know, it's a pain in the ass.
Right.
Unless you like doing it. But if you obviously like doing it, then it's fun.
Yeah, it was not a surprise. I mean, people would say to me, you know, it's every day. And I go, I know. I mean, I figure that out. I understand. Yeah, I could figure that out, and you know, and the more I do it, the easier it is. I think, in a way.
We're talking with Al Franken at 25 till the hour. His new book is entitled "The Truth with Jokes." It debuts at #1 in the New York Times this coming.
See, I'm a brand name.
Well, we were talking about that off the air. Yeah, you are. But I also think that people read the books.
They do.
There's lots of books that
Well, that's why I'm a brand name, because they read because my books are nutritional candy, is what I call them. They're substantive, yet they have the candy, the jokes. They're fun to read, so people read them.
What's this book about? It starts with it starts with the John Kerry night.
Yeah, it starts with the.
Tell me about that.
We had.
Where were you?
I was in Boston, and we had done a show. We do our show noon to 3, and we're getting exit poll information from our inside sources that Kerry's winning. So we're gloating. We're gloating on the air, essentially, and then we have our after-show meeting, and we're planning on the gloating. Tomorrow's gloating.
Sure.
We don't really figure out a plan B that we lose. So we're doing a lot of gloating, like, what job is Bush, Cheney's going to, be President of Halliburton again, and the CEO, and, Bush will be Vice President Halliburton, and Rumsfeld won't leave the Pentagon, and we're just, and then it was just that gradual downhill thing of going. We went to Copley Square for the celebration, and I was like, everyone was like really excited. I saw Ed Markey of Massachusetts, like bumped chest with him, and we're real happy. It's like 6 o'clock, and then at 8 o'clock I saw Barney Frank, and I said, "How you doing?" And he went, "Oh, I'm cautiously optimistic," and that's when I knew we were gone. I mean, I was like, if I'm ever sick and a doctor says to me, and I say, "How's it going?" He says, "Well, I'm cautiously optimistic. Just take the tube out, I don't want to become Terry Schiavo. I don't want to be a national issue. Just, if you're cautiously optimistic, doctor, just take the tube out."
Somebody called me at 2 o'clock that afternoon and said, he's winning. He's going to win.
I know.
I called everybody I know. Oh, man, I was, because I had been widely ridiculed on this program. And,
well, you should be. Oh, about that.
Yes, and everything else. Yes,
I see.
I heard it.
I misunderstood.
No, and then at 7 o'clock I see Mike McCurry from a Boston hotel.
Yeah.
And said, "What's the senator doing?" I said, "Well, he's thinking about what he's going to say to the country." I thought, God, this is just great.
And he thought about what he was going to say, and he said it about, 15 hours later, I'm withdrawing. Oh, God. No, that was a tough one. And then...
He's going to run again,
and
he can't get elected, can he?
I don't know. It's going to be an amazing field. The thing that and the book does start with that night, the thing it ends with, because it starts on this high where we're gloating.
Sure.
and it ends with us hearing Cheney go like, "This is a nationwide mandate." And it's like, he won by the smallest margin of any incumbent president ever on a percentage basis. And then it's suddenly this mandate. And it's a mandate for what? I said it's a mandate for, making people afraid and smearing Kerry, essentially, and going after gay people. And then he said it was a mandate for changing Social Security, and we've seen how that has turned out.
Retard, right?
Yeah. So he's down there. So we're now in the part of the book I call Seeds of Collapse, which is what is the second part of the book. The third part of the book is Resurrection of Hope. It's a very uplifting book.
With jokes.
With jokes.
Truth with jokes.
The truth with jokes.
And it's already number one. When did you find out it was number one?
You find out on Wednesday at 6 p.m. or something like that.
It's a real honor that you, it's a real honor for us that you still came over here.
I know.
Because you had to come to New Jersey.
But I had committed, and I live up to my commitments. Had I known that was going to be number one already, I would have said, "Are you kidding? Come out to New Jersey? They're in New Jersey?" No, I wouldn't have made it, but I live up to my commitment, Simon.
Well, thank you very much. It was 20 minutes till the hour. We're talking with Al Franken about the truth with jokes. We'll talk more about Joe's Miller and other stuff coming up. So it's almost 19 minutes now till the hour. Let me talk to you about the Tassimo hot beverage system. little man.
Even for Chuck, that one was good.
So I went home and I watched Amy and Randy do the news. You bet. Of course, Charles won't go see him. That's the problem. I love the man.
Bend over, Obi-Wan.
Thank you. Anyway, because ordinarily I don't say him. I say him a little bit. Shut up.
I'm sorry.
Shut your mic off if you can't control yourself, you little shrimp. I mean, it's just too bad I don't feel well today, because I'd come over there and just put an ass whooping on you.
It is really too bad. I feel bad.
I know what you got, I mean.
What?
Too much money and too much power. That's what you got.
Franken's a likable guy, isn't he? Al.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, that's nice what you said about him.
Well, you know, just I keep it real, you know.
Anyway, Amy and Randy are coming up at 9. And I watch them, and they are really good.
They're terrific.
They're great.
They absolutely are.
I mean, she's a little better than he is, but what do you think? It's just if you said, okay, give me one person to anchor the news, either Amy or Randy. Who would you take?
I think they
hands down. You take Amy.
I think they complement each other.
Hands down, hands up, hands anywhere you want to put them.
Anyway, what else going on, Charles?
Couple of things, man. In addition to the continuing trouble.
Why would Al move back to Minnesota if he's not going to run? Of course he's going to run.
What does that suggest to you? Of course. Sure.
Oh.
Maybe he likes to fish.
Well, he can fish anywhere. Anyway, what now, Charles?
Oil companies executives defending their record profits. In a confrontational hearing on Capitol Hill yesterday, California Senator Barbara Boxer accusing the industry of outright greed. Oil executives were unapologetic. James Mulva, chairman and CEO ConocoPhillips, said helping to pay for heat is a government responsibility.
As an industry, we feel that it's not a very good precedent to be looking at one industry to help fund necessarily those a government program as such.
What's the senator's name from...
Congressional Republican leaders have been under growing pressure over ballooning gasoline prices and soaring winter heating costs.
And who paid off Ted Stevens?
But most saw the hearing as more show rather than any sort of substance.
Holy God, is he in the tank for these criminals? Did you see that
Stevens of Alaska?
That pig from Exxon?
Yes.
Oh, man, who are they kidding?
I saw.
11 after the hour. Anything else that I need to know about?
This Texas woman, you remember the case of Andrea Yates, the Texas woman convicted of murder and the drownings of her children?
Killed 5 of them.
Yes. She will be given a new trial. The Texas Court of Criminal Appeals upheld a lower court that an expert witness for the prosecution had not been truthful at Andrea Yates' first trial.
Well, about what? She killed the kids.
The appeals court, highest in Texas, refused to reinstate the murder convictions against her. So Ms. Yates stands accused of drowning her 5 children in a bathtub in 2001, one at a time. And Harris County District Attorney Chuck Rosenthal said he will try Yates again and will do so as quickly as possible.
You know, I was kind of disturbed, and I didn't do a very good job of representing Kinky Friedman's campaign in Texas, which is a serious campaign. But Al was dismissive
Absolutely.
of Kinky.
I'm surprised.
Thinking that there was some joke that Kinky was like when he ran for Justice of the Peace, and he's going to lower the speed limit to 54.95. Well, that, as you pointed out, that was 10 years ago.
Of course.
So
no, this is serious. And Kinky has good ideas.
Unfortunately, I couldn't relate any of them to Al. So.
One of the things he's running on is education reform, which I'm very interested in.
And he's got some other deal where he's going to get 5 Mexican generals and give them $1 million to keep the illegal immigrants out or something.
Exactly, and it sounds crazy, and yet when you look at it, it's not so crazy.
And then I was talking to Charles last night, and Charles said he thinks that Kinky has a better chance of being elected in Texas than Al would have in Minnesota, which I didn't agree with.
I do. I think Kinky's a real deal.
Yes, but I mean, I've got to be able to represent his positions better. But apparently, I don't even know any of them.
Well, we'll go to the website and get you some bullet points.
I mean, yes, we're all going to be wearing blue bonnets or something.
I like that.
No, just not doing a good job.
You boggle the mind.
Well,
just jump on the bandwagon. Have no idea who's driving.
No. I was early with Kinky, and I was down. I've been,
since the JP race, you've been with Kinky politically.
So yes,
sure, good.
And he's not leading in the polls. This could be the first candidate who I've ever endorsed who's not ahead when I endorse him. Time for a little sports now. Here with that. It's sponsored by Peerless Boilers, make America's best boiler. And with that, Chris Carlin, I believe.
Yeah.
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, I'm in. Not good last night for Larry Brown and the New York Knicks.
Robinson doing a good job on Randolph, and he still puts it in. Zach Randolph, really unstoppable, 29 points. And that will pretty much seal this one.
As the Knicks lose, Mike Breen on MSG. What just happened?
I don't know. Alberto hit me in the head with a water bottle. What's the matter with you? Wait a minute. Violence is spreading. I am now injured.
I'm just sorry I wasn't a beer bottle.
Violence has reached Secaucus, New Jersey. Dear God.
Just look up at the screen and there's something flying in his head.
That's not good.
Now we're all going to get
What
caught
are you, nuts?
I defended myself.
No, but I mean,
You chugging at me, I chug a bag of Jew.
Oh, okay.
You want to mess with me? Come on, I said, bring it. Come on.
So this was a reprisal attack.
I cut you.
Okay, what else, Chris?
One of yours to the hospital, one of yours to the morgue.
That's the Texas way.
Holy crap.
What the hell is going on?
Just like you, bring a water bottle to a knife fight.
There's a quarter after the hour. Come on, what else going on?
Sacramento loses to Denver last
Nobody
night.
cares about this.
Well, about this story?
Yeah, it's about basketball.
Well, but here's the thing. They've got bigger issues. The Kings had their home opener the other night against the Detroit Pistons.
Sure.
MSNBC has some of the video. The Kings, in building some anticipation, trying to motivate the crowd during introductions as the Pistons were being introduced, put up a video on the screen depicting dilapidated buildings, burnt-out old cars, depicting Detroit as a city of slums.
Yeah.
Brilliant move by the marketing department. The Pistons' Rip Hamilton wasn't even aware.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened. You know what I'm saying? I just heard that, they were showing clips on TV.
It came as a complete shock. Just an absolute disaster for the Kings.
I don't even know where Detroit is at.
We'll be fine.
And finally, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, unfortunately. I'll be in Louisville, Kentucky for the big matchup between Rutgers and Louisville, so a special little treat. I'll give it to you a day early. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The Fat Boys Lock of the Week. Patrick McEnroe is filling in for me tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Guess what? He's going to suck. That's sports. I'm Chris Carlin.
All right, please welcome now to the Imus of the Morning program, over from the Archdiocese, with some words of hope and compassion and perhaps even wisdom.
Get on with it.
Cardinal Egan. Good morning, Cardinal Egan.
Good morning, Nicole Flat. Let me just say this, Mr. Mort. That horse-faced, hook-nosed dirtbag Howard Stern. Just get lost, will you, schmuck? Sick of you, BJs. The whole Howard Stern nonsense has prompted many of you morons out there to ask the Cardinal what the I-Man plans to do in the future, as though I might know or give a rat's ass, BJs. Let's see. Should he stay with free radio or buy satellite radio to get the I-Man? We fix this damn thing here. Well, I tell you what, Mr. Mort, I don't know much, but I do know this. Forget satellite or free radio. Anybody interested in getting the I-Man beyond this year should go out and buy themselves a damn Ouija board, BGs. That's the old Cadavia. Before I continue, Mr. Mort, let me offer some advice to those French yellow-bellied faggots over there, BGs, afraid to put their boot in the necks of those animals tearing up that once lovely country our boys fought and died for, Mr. Mort. Either make Swiss cheese or French toast to these thugs, or just threaten to release those old hideous Jerry Lewis movies, BGs, some damn thing. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Am I right, McCord?
Yes, you are.
Shut up, you poop-licking.
Yes, sir.
Just read the news. Good to see your old pal CNN's Jeff Greenfield still alive, Mr. Navarre.
Yes.
It had been rumored among cable news insiders that poor Greenfield had actually been eaten by fellow CNN reporters, the corpulent Candy Crowley, BG. Well, there are similar rumors about CNN's Anderson Cooper eating Sam Champion as well, BG.
No.
Mean-spirited son of a bitch. Let me just say this, Mr. Navarre, about your guest, the country singer Patty Loveless.
Yes.
She might want to consider being Patty Foodless for a couple of months, BG. Chubby Appalachian slut looks like Jeff Greenfield in a wig, BG. No, there ain't enough ugly bastards on this program, BG. Speaking of which, Mr. Navarre, I'm sick of the conga line of liberals you've been featuring here this past week.
Yeah.
From the snotty Coke bottled glasses wearing Greenfield to that aging, bitter whore, Maureen Dowd, BG. To these two unfunny look-alike bagel-eating boars, Louis Clark and now Al Franken, BG. And you wonder why MSNBC's logo is, we report, you decide not to watch, BG. I understand this Franken fellow's looking to recapture the Senate seat of the late, great Minnesota Senator Paul Wellstone.
Oh, come on here.
Well, who better to represent the liberal gopher state than this buck-toothed dickhead, be Jesus?
No.
Tell you what, Mr. Moore, we need sure to say a prayer that Franken doesn't campaign in the same kind of aircraft that tragically killed old Wellstone. We'll be sure to say that prayer, you BB Paul, Hamadan, you be Jesus. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Get your heads down. Get dummy up, you hooligans. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
The I-man's last breath we want the most. Lord, hear our prayer. Let's hear it.
Lord, hear our prayer.
Geez, that sounds flat. Let's try to do this. Let's try to do this like my colored brothers and sisters, Mr. Moore. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. The I-man's last breath we want the most. Lord, hear our prayer. Lord, we pray that when forward and pasty Imaslaki Senator Corzine moves into his new governor's digs, he doesn't use the office there to keep talking state employee pigs. Lord, hear our prayer. Lord, we pray that President Bush gets in peace not only for his Iraq folly, but for honoring in our White House draft dodging loudmouth Muhammad Ali. Lord, hear our prayer. Lord, we pray that when the IMAD take two, Mr. Moore.
That's supposed to be an organ?
Yeah.
It sounds like static.
We pray the I-Man develop baseball-sized kidney stones so I can finally perform last rites on this bag of bones. Lord, hear our prayer. Finally, we pray, Mr. Moore, that when Al Franken flies around Minnesota to campaign... Oh, gee, look at the time. Got to go. Mr. Moore. Amen. Which does it belong and why?
Okay.
Which does it belong and why?
This is a disaster.
Hey.
Really?
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali.
Steve, Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton.
See, I'm Mr. Lamar. Which does it belong and why?
Obviously, I'm Mr. Warren.
Wrong, you two-legged liver spot, you be Jesus. Well, it's a disgrace that all three of these certified 20th century scumbags were ever allowed to set foot in our White House. The answer, stupid, is B. Muhammad Ali doesn't belong because unlike the other two lowlifes, Muhammad Ali has never been accused of rape, be Jesus. What ahead, you smuckers.
What?
Get that thing going again. We want Hymus dead. We want his last breath. We want Hymus in the north.
21 after they are. That's the worst organ effect I've ever heard in my life. Yeah.
Whenever I see your smiling face, I have to smile myself because I love you. Yes, I do. And when you give me that pretty little pout, it turns me inside out. There's something about you, baby, I don't know. Isn't it amazing a man like me can feel this way? Tell me how much longer it will go stronger every day. Oh, how much longer? I thought I was in love a couple of times before with the girl next door, but that was long before I met you. Now I'm sure that I won't forget you, and I thank my lucky stars that you are who you are, and not just another lover's lady sent down to break my heart. Isn't it amazing a man like me can feel this way? Tell me how much longer it can grow stronger every day. I'm in the morning.
This is Rocky Moselle with International Star.
The millionaire author gets the free coffee machine.
A deserving recipient, nevertheless.
Hot beverage system. Now it can make, well, now you'll have a little stab of Starbucks right there in the old kitchen.
There you go.
And the Attorney General of the United States, Alberto Gonzales, also a guest this morning. He does not get the hot beverage system.
That's unfortunate.
Well, because I don't have enough of my own hot air to steam the milk for cappuccino.
Well,
like Al Franken does.
Well, whatever. The General will have some thoughts on Mr. Franken coming up. But first, Charles has, a bunch of hideously depressing news.
Essentially, that is it, I-Man. Al-Qaeda's wing in Iraq claiming it was behind yesterday's deadly hotel bombings in Jordan. 3 suicide bombers, killing at least 57 people, wounding more than 100 others at 3 hotels in the capital, Amman. From Jordan, British Foreign Minister Jack Straw says Britain is prepared to offer assistance.
We have good forensic teams to
can help in the investigation, if that is what the Jordanian authorities wish. We've got people who can help over intelligence. There's long been very good cooperation between our security services.
And in this country, President Bush says America stands ready to do whatever it can to help in the investigation into yesterday's bombings.
How about not starting stupid wars? That would start.
Mr. Bush called the attacks in Amman cowardly and barbaric and said they clearly demonstrate, as he put it, the terrible cruelty of terrorists and the great toll they take on society at large.
Can't slip anything by him.
Man.
Quick.
Suicide bomber blew himself up then in a crowded Baghdad restaurant today, a place frequented by the security forces. It happened during breakfast, and it killed 35 people, wounded 25, in an attack also claimed by al-Qaeda in Iraq, Abu Musab al-Zarqawi's outfit. It was described as one of the biggest attacks in the Iraqi capital in recent months. At least 4 Iraqi police patrols were having their breakfast at this restaurant when the bomber came in. An Islamist website used by al-Qaeda subsequently ran a statement saying, quote, "A lion from our Martyrs Brigade embedded himself among the infidel police and security forces in the restaurant." Over 100 non-French citizens convicted of involvement in the massive rioting that has plagued the country the past couple of weeks are going to get deported. According to a BBC report, the French Interior Minister told members of Parliament that he had already ordered the immediate deportation of some 120 foreigners. Reportedly, he'd asked officials to deport them from our national territory without delay, including those who have a residency visa. It's not going to make any difference. They're out. One far-right Frenchman told the BBC that the government should go one step further and revoke the citizenship of all French nationals convicted of rioting. The unrest broke out back in late October when a couple of teenagers of African Arabic origin were electrocuted at an electricity substation where they ostensibly were hiding from police in a poor Paris suburb. Oil company executives defending their record profits in what was described as a confrontational hearing on Capitol Hill yesterday. California Senator Barbara Boxer accusing the industry of outright greed. Lee Raymond, CEO of ExxonMobil, rejected accusations of post-hurricane price gouging. He said profits, in fact, were in line with the operations that they run.
Our numbers are huge because the scale of our industry is huge. How are these earnings huge?
Shut up.
We invest to run our global operations. So
none of the companies offered any wiggle room, any room for hope for lowering prices or contributing to some sort of fund that would help the poor heat their homes this winter.
The chairman of the committee, Ted Stevens from Alaska, is just an absolute abject disgrace. First of all, wouldn't swear him in.
I saw that. So they didn't have to stand there and raise their right hands like all the tobacco guys did.
Right.
Instead, they say, no, tobacco's not addictive.
Man, I mean, he's so far in the tank with these folks that...
Well,
why, go ahead.
Well, I'm not supposed to. But that was embarrassing.
Well,
frankly.
Well, he's embarrassing.
Oh. I couldn't.
Weezer, little shill.
What in the world is this guy doing?
Another one of your boys, General Gonzalez.
Welcome to capitalism, baby, okay?
Yeah.
Supply and demand. Supplies was low because of the hurricane. What? We cut prices?
Well, no.
I mean, so shut up.
Please welcome now officially once again to the program the Attorney General of the United States of America, Alberto Gonzalez. Good morning, General Gonzalez.
Good morning, Ivan. After being snubbed by mi amigo Jefe Jorge in favor of the Three Stooges, Roberts, Myers, and that mariconito Alito, I have decided in the time-honored tradition of the Imus in the Morning program to make myself feel better about it by making someone else feel worse. Yeah. And that person, for no other reason that he just happened to be a guest today, is Al Franken, or as we like to call him around the White House, the liberal Fred Flintstone. Apparently, Mr. Franken is considering a run for U.S. Senator in his home state of Minnesota, which either means that after a 30-year career as a political satirist, he now wants to really make a difference, or he's finally admitted to himself the inevitable truth about that hideous Air America thing, which is that plane's going down, S.A. I'm talking Mayday, Mayday, punch out, Maverick. Mr. Franken has his own show on Air America, which is also broadcast on the Sundance Channel on cable TV. Yet he's promoting his new book, The Truth with Jokes, on other radio and TV programs, such as this one. Why?
Because his show is on Air America and the Sundance Channel. I mean, if you resort to appearing on MSNBC to sell books, you may as well just go door to door with a box of them under your arm. You reach more people that way. But here's the problem with having your own show on Air America.
Okay.
It's on Air America. Do you know that adage about if a tree falls in a forest and nobody hears it?
Sure.
They were talking about Air America. Always making a noise, all right. A really whiny, droning sound. But unfortunately, nobody's hearing it. Because of a very complicated scientific principle called nobody's listening. I mean, nobody. Including the guys in the control room at Air America. They're all listening to Opie and Anthony. Do you want to know how bad they're doing over at Air America? They'd kill for Tucker Carlson numbers, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. I love Al Franken. Nobody loves Al Franken more than me.
No.
Except for maybe Al Franken.
Yeah.
Which is another concept steeped in the time-honored tradition of the Amish in the Morning program, blind self-adulation. Which is okay by me. In fact, why don't you both do us all a favor and just go love yourselves already? Anyway, Al Franken, I hope you have better luck being elected senator than I did being nominated as Supreme Court Justice. But I think you'll do great in Minnesota. That state needs a big, stupid, Cro-Magnon-looking guy with a forehead like a handball court to be its senator, because it already got one as its governor.
13 after they are here on the Ibis of the Morning program. General Alberto Gonzalez. Hammering our friend Al Franken. I love when you play air guitar, General.
Thank you.
Contender